Hi everyone, welcome to Procrastination Points Video Snark. This video series isn't an audiobook, it's designed as commentary. This series emphasizes reading and listening comprehension skills. My focus is on reading books, identifying areas that miss the mark, and suggesting ways that they could be reimagined. I'm continuing my read-through of Chromatic by Ashley Bustamante. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, you can find the links below. Chapter 17. They get set up for the night in Cott's maid. As everybody else gets settled in for the night, asks Ava if she thinks that they can actually do this or not. She says that although it'll be difficult, they've never let a few hardships stop them before. Ava also tells the readers that the other group have agreed to meet them at Porter's place for now. Although they talk about Bree and Jazz reuniting with their parents, nothing is ever said about anybody else's parents. It's like they don't exist at all. It's honestly kind of frustrating. Getting back to the topic of the devices, says that they'll have to split up in order to get them all, but asks that Ava remain with him during this. In the morning, the other team shows up. We finally get some actual answers about their parents. Some of them they weren't able to find at all because they weren't at their houses. Nikki says that her parents are cooperating with the benefactors, and she seems ashamed by this. However, I'd like to state they're all being given lies about the children. Her parents might think that she was kidnapped or something awful. Kato says that he was raised by his grandparents, but they have both passed since he left for Neoprism. In the morning, they split themselves into smaller groups and divide up Porter's map of known devices for each group to take care of. Porter offers for them to stay longer, but they insist that they have to get this over with. He tells them that they're all welcome back whenever they feel like. Ava asks Porter if he thinks that they can become a unified people once again. He says yes, but then muses over what might have been lost to time because of this. However, that only makes him more determined than ever to save as much as he can. Ava asks if she can come back and study from his saved books, to which he agrees that she's welcome at any time. Thinking about Porter's cause makes Ava wonder how he and Selena are related. When Ava and set out, they quickly realize how cold it is. Uses green magic to make them some better winter gear, despite the fact that I swear he made everybody winter gear when they first went back through the barrier. However, Ava worries about the others. She wants to turn back to call them all to return to Porter's until the weather gets better. Calls her out and says that it's nothing but an excuse to not even start. Not mentioned is the fact that the weather is getting progressively worse inside the barrier, that it's the middle of spring and it shouldn't be snowing. As they walk, they realize that they're leaving footprints in the snow. Although they suggest using an illusion to hide them, I kind of want to scream out in frustration. This is literally a subplot in 101 Dalmatians. If freaking dogs can manage to hide their footprints with nothing but a tree branch, why can't even not do the same? They decide to spend the night in the library since it'll be kept fairly warm overnight. They sneak in right as the last patrons are leaving and hide out in the aisles while they wait for the librarians to close it for the night. After the lights go off, they start talking about how much that they mean to each other and what it is that they'd do if the other one got too badly hurt or even killed. Says that his heart was poisoned by being kept prisoner for a decade, and it's only Ava who managed to save him from what he could have turned into. He holds her as they fall asleep. Love my Snark? I also offer book editing services where I bring that same approach to your writing. If you'd prefer a more traditional approach, I also offer professional book editing services. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions about my editing services, including pricing options. Chapter 18. Ava finds that she can't sleep. It's cold in the library after they close it for the night and her mind is running 1,000,000 miles per hour. She sits up and reads something, but is startled when momentarily traps her in an image of what she's reading. He tries her and tells her to get some sleep. However, they're both rudely awoken by a rather violent earthquake as it rips its way around Magnus. When it passes, they can still hear it moving throughout the city. Ava looks out the window to the startled people as they go outside to see what's going on. She feels guilty that she could be doing literally anything to help them, but is quick to remind her that people are unlikely to want help from a wanted man and his rebellion leader girlfriend. They eventually decide that because of the cold it wouldn't be odd if their faces were covered, so they go around and help people who are caught under the rubble or fallen furniture and heal them. People don't question them too much, mainly because there's so much hurt and destruction to think twice about who helped them. However, when the sun starts to come up, they decide that they have to make themselves scarce. Mainly, it's time to get back to the actual plot. They contemplate the map and wonder what the device actually looks like, where specifically it'll be, and most importantly, how to even destroy it. The map leads them to a seemingly ordinary florist shop. It's been destroyed thanks to the earthquake, but the door is unlocked. However, as tries to follow Ava inside, he finds that there's an invisible barrier that he cannot penetrate. He says that it's the work of white magic created by Jace, that Jace has a canary carving that Elm's father had given Elm, and he's pretty sure that it's what's specifically keeping Elm out. Ava isn't deterred by this and decides to go in without him. She looks around, but nothing stands out to her. Going further into the property, she finds a courtyard area where there's a fountain with something in the frozen water. She gathers energy from the flowers and then destroys the thing easily. If you're interested in reading my own stories, you can purchase my spicy short stories as well as 2 full-length novels on Amazon. I also frequently run flash sales on my stories. If you're not already following me on Reddit, I recommend doing so to stay updated on when I offer free content. Reddit is currently the only place where I'm advertising myself these days. Chapter 19. When Ava goes back out to she asks if he'd felt it. He did, and said that it almost felt like the start of another earthquake. As they leave the flower shop, he suggests that they should keep going and get at least one more before night. But Ava says that they should focus on finding Jason or claiming Elm's canary figurine. That it's not okay that Jace still somehow holds so much power over Elm. But the problem is that they have no idea where he is or how to even begin to track him down. Ava pulls out the butterfly and asks if anybody's there too. 2 of the other groups report in, so Ava tells them about the device that she destroyed, describing it in great detail so that they know what to look for. She also explains about Elm being physically barred from entering the area and asks that the others be on the lookout for Jace. After hanging up, Ava expresses fear that Bree and Jess didn't report in. Elm tries to tell her that maybe they were in an area with too many people. That silence from them at this time doesn't mean something bad happened. 2 days later, and the snow is starting to melt. However, the things that it's leaving behind are not what a post-winter snow should look like. Ava is obviously exceptionally anxious about what this means. What's worse is that for those 2 days, the eyes on the butterfly had been red. They can't reach out to the others when it's like this. Tries to calm her down by insisting that it's nothing but garbage anyway. Then they're approached by 2 benefactors who seem immune to mentalist mind tricks, even their invisibility. They openly brag about how they'd been given anti-mentalist devices in their brains, courtesy of Celine. Although Elm starts trying to draw them into a fight, Ava knows that she'd rather retreat at this point. She uses red magic to run off with Elm in tow. However, the Shaper gives chase and Ava openly asks if he's using purple magic. He insists that he doesn't know what she's talking about, but says that Celine gave him body enhancements. The dude has freaking wheels instead of feet. Randomly, this has turned into the final book of the Ugliest series by Scott Westerfield, a point that's hammered in when the Augmenter shows up with freaking spider legs. I will scream if somebody has snakes for fingers. It was a throwaway line in the final book specials, but it lives rent-free in my head. However, as they run away and the benefactors give chase, it becomes quite apparent that the technology given to them is really untested. The Augmenter is forced to stop because his legs break, and when he asks the Shaper for help, the Shaper says that a mysterious something will happen if his heart rate gets too high. This should have been the biggest red flag of them all, fellas. The person who is using 100% untested technology on you, and you know that it's going to kill you if you fail? Bro, come on. As Ava and watch, the Shaper then proceeds to grow knives out of his body, which stabs the Augmenter multiple times. The Shaper then flees. Ava can't help but think that when push comes to shove, every single benefactor is nothing but a self-serving jerkwad. Now that they're alone with the Augmenter, Ava goes closer with the intention of healing him. However, when she gets closer, she finds that he's past the point of no return. Elm says that he can't feel the anti-magic device on him anyway, and says that the best he can do is to make his last moments a peaceful one. So he uses his illusions to make a beautiful forest all around them. The Augmenter's last words are to thank Elm for having shown him something so beautiful. As they continue along, Ava wonders when the tipping point is going to be, when people are going to wake up and realize that Celine is doing nothing but using them for her sick experiments. Now, she's not even pretending like this isn't about mentalists, because she's actively killing the people working for her, people who were on her side. She walks up a hill, desperate for any signs of anything other than the frozen wasteland all around them. When she fails to find it, she breaks down crying, says that this is an exercise in futility. Lets her cry it out for a bit. Then he uses his magic to create first a yellow tulip, which he then transforms into a sunflower. Then he gets down on one knee and proposes, although even he admits that now is hardly the best time. Ava is startled and she asks if this isn't a dream. She goes on to ask why now, but then she realizes that there are some things that not even the benefactors can take for them. The chapter ends with this really great quote: "Hope doesn't die unless we let it, and I'm determined more than ever to do whatever I can to help it flourish." Patreon has recently introduced free memberships. By joining, you'll be able to enjoy the same content I post on Tumblr, now conveniently available on Patreon. Patreon supporters can enjoy even more book Snark starting at only $1 a month. Plus, Patreon now offers a 1-week free trial. Don't miss it. Big shout out to Phoebe for supporting me on Patreon already. Also, huge thanks to Josh and Mark for making a one-time donation. If you want to hear your name on my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Chapter 20. Ava is immensely cheered by her recent engagement, that she can get through anything at this point. Even better is that the Butterfly family changes from red back to green, meaning that they can speak with somebody else now. Jazz and Bree say that they're heading back to Porter's place with their parents since there's too many benefactors looking for them, that it's even more unsafe than usual. Ava kicks herself for not having suspected something like that might happen. Sammy tells him that the word on the street is that Celine isn't happy that Jace let Ava slip through his fingers yet again, that the benefactor's presence was really intense, and suddenly let up. At this point, Elm announces to everybody that he and Ava are engaged. Despite this being met with general positivity and congratulations, Sammy is apparently quite upset about the entire thing. Elm quietly tells Ava that it's not like he ever led Sammy on after they were reunited, and any lingering hope on Sammy's part is her own delusions. Sometime later, they end up at a clothing store where there's apparently another device. Is still blocked and is getting quite frustrated. We apparently skipped over 5 other locations, all of which were blocked against him. Ava is mainly frustrated that Jace was this obsessed with that he went out of his way to do this for every single location. She suggests that they should go into Jace's dreams, but that's obviously not a good idea, that Jace is a highly trained mentalist, a man who taught everything that he knows. Is also quick to remind Ava of what happened the last time she tried dreamwalking. Ava counters with the reminder that he'd promised to teach her how to dreamwalk properly. Thanks for watching. New Book Snark videos go live every Monday with occasional extras during the week. Your support means so much, even if it's not financial. Watching my videos, subscribing, and liking and sharing them with friends all go a long way in helping my channel grow. If you've already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Facebook, WordPress, Tumblr, or free on Patreon for my main Book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. A link tree for everything is posted below. See you next week, guys!